After making a whole horror game in a week, I decided to get back into my comfort zone to make yet another 2D game. This time I will be joining the mini jam, which is a little different to the other game jams. The theme is announced even before the jam starts, in this case Mystic. But there is a limitation here to follow, which kind of works like a secondary theme. And what we got was constant escalation, and I had to make a game in 3 days. So the main theme is optional according to the rules, but I decided to go for it anyway. Mystic straight away makes me think of magic, but according to the Google definition, it seems to be more about deities or gods or whatever. And from that and the limitation, I had the idea of an action platformer where you have to fight enemies that get stronger over time, but there'll be a godlike creature to help you and give you abilities to be even stronger than them. And with that, I went straight into the art. I wanted to challenge myself a little bit here. I took a super limited color palette thanks to lowspec.com, and I wanted the whole game to be set in the sky, and you will be standing on clouds. So I made the player and a flying pig, which kind of looks like a melting bar of soap, to be honest. Anyway, I added the player to the game, and with my experience of having hundreds of unfinished platformer projects, I was able to make a decent platformer controller with all the little things to make it feel good to play around with. And then I spent a painful amount of time trying to get the sword animated and just work. And then I got the flying pig that just follows you in the air. You can also attack it and knock it back. And then I decided to make the second enemy. He looks a bit similar to the player and has a weapon too. He's supposed to attack you, of course, when you're too close to him, and I spent a little too much time working on this one. The attack animation took me a while, and then he started to work properly. Kind of. He teleports left and right when he attacks you, which looks cool, but this is not how the game should work. And I did not even bother to check what went wrong exactly because it was such a pain to get him working in the first place. And then it hit me that I may have overscoped the project too much. I'm still on the first day, but I don't really think I'll be able to make everything I wanted in just another 2 days. And I was thinking of quitting, but then my friend here, ADT, kind of motivated me to continue because we are in a competition to make a devlog before the other guy. But unfortunately for me, he won and he posted his devlog. You can check it out after this video. Moving on, I decided to rethink the project. And my idea was just to take constant escalation in the most literal way possible, by just making the game about chasing high scores by constantly moving upwards. Totally not like Doodle Jump. I salvaged the assets, as you can see, and some of the code too because I didn't want to write another character controller script again. I'll also be keeping some of the ideas like a godly creature that will help you. But unfortunately we are super short on time, but I managed to get this infinite platform generation going with occasional issues, but with some tweaking I got that fixed. And then I made this art for a bird cage that would spawn randomly, and you can break it to free the bird for extra points. I got this idea from an old game I played long time ago, which I don't really remember, but now it gives you a reason to use the sword more. Oh, and you may have noticed the spikes too. No explaining needed there, I'm sure you can figure out what it does. And then I did some sound design just to make the game feel better to play. And yes, the pig is back. Not the other guy though. He's not gonna come back. He never will. Anyway, the pig can be stunned when you hit them instead of actually dying. And time is almost up, and I still couldn't make everything I wanted. So might as well finish it up with whatever I have already put into the game. So I added a score counter real quickly, and the game also saves your highest score. And with that, I published this unfinished game to the jam page and also called it Ascend because that's pretty much what you do in the game. Well, even though the jam ended, I still have many ideas for this game that I couldn't bring in. So I'm going to spend a couple more days to finish it. One of them is the godly creature that'll help you on runs, and I was inspired by the design of biblically accurate angels and simplified it to this. And I made its eye always follow the mouse. But right now, it's just sitting in the background without really doing anything. So the idea is that you will find it and it'll ask you to pick from 3 upgrades to help you on your journey. As for the upgrades, I made a bunch of sprites for them and got them into the game with a little UI pop-up to let you know what each upgrade does. When you pick one up, the game will continue to spawn more platforms. There's also this popping sound effect when you move up and score. And after a lot of spaghetti code, I got some random pickups into the game. The first one I made was this angelic wings, which makes you fly for a limited time. You can increase the duration with upgrades. And then after that I added a shield, which will protect you from dying one time and stays on for a short period of time, which can also be upgraded. And also the ring, which doubles all points scored when it's active for a short period of time, which also can be upgraded. And there are also some passive upgrades that work without a pickup, like the cage cutters, which just makes the bird cages give more points every time it's upgraded. Or sharper blades, which stuns pigs for longer when you hit them. And right now, one problem with the game is that the player can AFK in one spot and stay there forever without any issues. So now I'm gonna add a feature to stop that from happening with a monster. I drew up a sprite for some pile of goop with eyes and tentacles, similar to Seek from Doors. I put it into the game and put the pieces together and added a script that makes everything move randomly. Now by the look of it, you could probably guess how it's going to work. It now constantly chases you, and if you touch it, you die. It also maintains a minimum distance in case you get too far from it, so that you still won't have much time to stay. And if you reach the upgrade floor, it will go down and wait until you're done choosing. So now that issue is solved. And finally the UI. After some work, I made things look good. And even added a main menu. The game does not have any music at all, just a bunch of sound effects. But I don't want to make any music right now, and I couldn't find any free music that suited the game. So I published it anyway on a separate itch page that you can try now. And since it's separate, you can try out the original jam submission as well, which by the way got 10th place in the game jam. So yeah, give the game a try. Maybe even leave a comment telling your highest score or something. But if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, then like and subscribe. You can also check out this video where I made a horror game in under a week. Anyway, that's all from me. See you on the next one.